This is News 6 Tonight. Hey, welcome to News 6 Tonight. We're glad to have you with us this evening. I'm Matt Austin. This is one of my best buddies in the whole world. This is Ginger. We've got a great slate of news up for you tonight.
He says that preemptively, so I won't say anything because right up until the moment we go on, he is so lippy that it's not even funny.
That's not true at all.
So I just keep it inside, and then I go home, and then my husband suffers.
Punch your husband?
Yeah, I don't, but
yes.
Tonight I might.
Okay.
Well, it's been a sad day.
It really
of
has,
news,
yeah.
And this is one that really hits close to home for us. You know, we say legend or legendary a lot for some people, right? But this guy truly was a legend. We're talking about former Notre Dame and college great football coach Lou Holtz. He was one of one, as someone said earlier today, and we have had the distinct pleasure of sitting down and chatting with him for more than an hour during a special we had at Miller's Ale House a while ago. But look, this is a young Lou Holtz.
Look at how spry he is.
He's just spunky. And there he is. He's just, honestly, that conversation that night was delightful. He just drops nuggets of wisdom with everything.
Yeah, you can tell he's a coach, and is just every chance, every question, he tries to squeeze in a little something to impact your soul. You know? Yeah,
and it really worked. I was so happy just to, to have him impart some of his wisdom on us, and for him to spend the time. He was so generous with his time with us, with the audience who loved him. That man could hold a room. Yeah. He can hold a room.
This is true. And so we did a little story just to recap something about this amazing man's life and the time that we got to spend with him. So take a look.
A lot of wide eyes on that sideline. When you look behind Lou Holtz and the rest of the faces.
Coach Lou Holtz took center stage on the college football scene as a fierce, wiry presence patrolling the sideline.
All the great teams overcome adversity. Adversity is what we look for.
He won a national championship at Notre Dame in 1988, took 6 different programs to bowl games, and won National Coach of the Year twice.
He's one of the greatest titans in American football history.
Coach Holtz would later win the Presidential Medal of Freedom. A man small in stature who would have statues created in his honor. A living legend in our midst. Everybody give a big round of applause for Coach Lou Holtz! But when my co-anchor Ginger and I interviewed him in 2024, what stood out the most was his humility.
I was in the lower third of my high school class. If it was not for people like me, there could have been no upper half of the class.
After a prolific career as a coach, Holtz would move to Central Florida and soon conquered television as well.
I wanted a place with a good golf. I love golf. My goal was to shoot my age. I've done that. Now I want to shoot my IQ, which is a lot lower than me. Mm-hmm. The only thing I wanted Orlando didn't have was a place I could afford.
And that hasn't changed.
During our hour with Coach Holtz, he enthralled a live audience with plenty of laughs and a heaping of wisdom.
I don't care what you achieve in this world. I don't care how much money you make. If you aren't successful as a husband and a father, you failed. And so to me, my priorities was my faith, my family, and then football.
Coach Lou Holtz was 89 years old. You know, we get to meet a lot of people in this job, politicians and whatever, all sorts of famous and interesting people. It's very rare when you meet one where you say, you know what, I want to actually be more like that guy.
Oh, my goodness.
That's what I thought when we were with Lou Holtz for that.
Yeah, we had sports director Jamie Say on earlier today, and she talked about how he held his players to such a high standard. And the result was he coached champions, because they know he did not play. He did not mess around.
It's funny when you see him yelling at the big guys. I was going through video for that story, and he's looking up and grabbing face masks, and he's just this smaller guy in control of these big guys, and it takes quite the personality.
Such a sweet
also,
presence,
I want to say,
too.
the day we did that, we never really said this at the time, but He was in the hospital 2 days before. He felt terrible.
We thought we were going to have to cancel it.
We thought we were, but he didn't want to let us down, and he just showed up.
It's his generation that's like that. Like, he doesn't want to miss any opportunity to be with people who adore him, who he can impart some wisdom to, which I think everyone walked away just a little bit better that night. And, you know, he gave those little gifts. And one of the things he gave us, Matt, and I keep it in my purse, is this little keychain. And it's got Notre Dame on one side, and the other side it says, live like a champion. Live like a champion. And that's how he lived his life. And I'm so happy that to have this and to treasure it, because it's not every day a legend gives you
Absolutely.
a gift.
And he spent his time in Central Florida, but his funeral is going to be up there at Notre Dame, which I'm sure he would love.
Oh my
and
gosh.
you know everybody's going to show up for that. It's gonna be
I don't know
beautiful.
how they're going to be able to contain that. So he will be missed. He will be missed. He was 89 years old.
Yeah. All right, so let's turn our attention to a story. This was our big story yesterday. Crazy situation.
Since Monday, this has been our big story.
Yeah, all week, pretty much, we had heard about it. We got more details yesterday about this deputy. In fact, we saw the video where this deputy was responding to a call, it's kind of a minimal call, and he ends up getting shot. This guy is accused of just basically hunting him down, shooting him. And one of the bullets hit his body cam right in the middle of his chest and ricocheted off. It ricocheted off into his shoulder. He got one in his leg as well. The team got him to the hospital quickly, and he's already been released from the hospital. Let's show you this. And it's pretty fascinating. The whole community came out, all the deputies, and they brought out Air One, the helicopter, because apparently 2 weeks before he wanted to ride in Air One, and he didn't want it facing up on a gurney. So they took him home in Air One. The sheriff, Mike Chitwood, made all of this happen. Let's listen to the sheriff as he talks about this.
He said, I didn't expect that after I put that memo in that I would be flying in Air One, except be strapped to a stretcher on my back staring at the ceiling. So I said, you know what, if your wife is cool with it, when you get discharged, we're going to fly you, get you up, fly you around, to check out the ocean, check out the lighthouse.
To see, they took care of this deputy.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this is a tough guy.
My
you kidding me?
gosh.
You get shot twice and you're out of the hospital already. You've got.
He is a miracle, though, because they had just started wearing their body-worn camera in the center of their chest. If it had been in the original position, he would have taken those bullets right to the heart.
Yeah, he did have a bulletproof vest on. A lot of people don't understand, if the bullet is above 9mm in size,
It's bullet resistant, not bulletproof.
a lot of these bullets will go through. I'm
Yeah.
not sure what the gun the guy was firing was. I know I've seen pictures of it. It might have been a 9mm, and the chest protector might have kept the bullet at bay, but that's not a chance you want to take.
Yeah, but thank goodness he is going to make a full recovery. He's home with his family tonight, where he should be, and he is going to be okay. But I love that they gave him that ride in style back home. If I were him, when I go back to work, I'm like, can this be my ride every day?
Yeah, this is going to be, bring
Remember
me in with this
when I
thing.
got shot on the job? It's like I would just play that card every single day. But thank goodness, we're not trying to make light of it, but thank goodness he is okay, and we're not doing a different kind of story.
Yes.
All right, this next story is a different kind of story. We talk about a lot of bills and laws that are passed or being considered. This one is really interesting. I've not heard of a bill like this before. It passed its final Senate committee today. So that would amend an existing law that defines what it actually means, Matt, to be a gangster. Are you a gangster or a gang member?
What is that?
Okay.
Dang, it feels good to be a gangster. Is that the song you're trying to get me?
Whatever. So here's what it reads. It's like a person admits to being a gang member online.
Hello, everyone. Is that if it's in your bio?
You may know me from such drive-bys
Matt
as
Austin, gangsta.
I don't know. If it's claimed by a gang as a member, if a gang claims you, say, hey, that's one of our own, then okay. If a spouse, this is the one that you
This is my favorite.
If a spouse claims you're in a gang, I think they meant a wife. Because the ladies don't do the gangs so much.
There are ladies in gangs.
If you've been seen with another gang member at least twice, so they're going to document everything, uses gang-related language, or in higher penalties for gang members being in being in one, not a crime, is the point. It's not a crime to be in a gang, but if you commit any of these things.
If you do it as a gang member, you can get charged with things
all
like
these
conspiracy.
things. Yeah. So it's going to come for you. So I'm telling you.
This full screen reminds me of, you remember Jeff Foxworthy when he said, you might be a redneck if.
You might be a gang member.
You might be a gangster if you are claimed by another member. But yeah, the spouse one really makes me laugh, because what if you just made your wife mad and she was like, you know what? From now on, you are going to be considered a gang member.
That's just a Monday. That's just a Monday.
What a strange thing to
We got to talk to some of the lawmakers who said this is a great idea.
Yeah.
And to see why was that one
joking around on Facebook about gang membership, you're officially labeled a gang. Maybe we'll be one now. Because we talked about it.
I am definitely not a gang member.
I think if you're in
I'm
a
not
gang,
built for that.
It should probably be a little more than somebody said you were in a gang, or you talked to a guy in a gang one time. I wonder if this is targeting bikers in the state of Florida.
Yeah.
You know?
Maybe. I don't know. That's a good question. We really do need to dig a little deeper into that one.
This is true. I think so.
But just on the surface, it was entertaining and
very
interesting.
Odd.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. All right. Well, Florida is. Are we going to take a break?
No.
Okay,
sir.
Good. Okay.
No, sir. We're going to do the story that you've wanted to do for a long time.
Yes. So Florida's running low on water, they tell us. We've talked to water experts.
The world's running low on water. It's not an endless supply.
But we have more springs and fresh water than almost any place on Earth.
A lot of aquifers.
Yeah, we got tons of lake. You take 2 steps and you're there in a lake. So, but our aquifer, while we're having more people, and for every person you add, there's some thousands of gallons of water that they take up with their showers and their drinking and their baths.
Their necessities.
That's right, their toothbrushing. Well, some members of one community say, we know what you're going to try to do, and we don't want you to do it.
Just don't.
They're very hesitant for what critics call toilet to tap. Okay, we've all heard of this. So basically, when you start running out of water, the goal is to say, well, hey, you know, all that brown water or sewage water, or the water
they actually call it black water,
runs over your body and then goes into the drain in the shower. How can we reuse that so that we can, you know, have enough water so everybody doesn't have to not water their lawns or take their showers in the future? So Mark Lehman talked to a guy who says, not coming here. We're gonna vote to say that our lawmakers can't even think about doing this in the future.
And they don't want their kids drinking recycled sewage water.
Rich Yost is with Let Volusia Vote and supports letting residents decide. He tells us many have concerns about the safety of turning treated sewage into drinking water or pumping it into aquifers.
The time is now, because this is a hot button topic, and the vast majority of the population does not want this as an option.
Last month, Volusia County voted to reject putting toilet to tap on the ballot.
Daytona Beach is different because they actually have had a pilot program for this. You know, it was in 2018 when they did that.
Yost says the city's population has grown by about 25% after first exploring the initiative. With that in mind, he hopes Daytona Beach is more mindful of development to protect its most precious resource.
We don't need to continue that path. We can build up to a point that our natural environment can naturally sustain.
Yost tells us he plans on speaking at tonight's meeting, which is set for 6 p.m. Important to note, this is only the first reading of this ordinance. It will be brought back up again in 2 weeks, and if passed at that point, the measure would appear on the November ballot. In Daytona Beach, Mark Lehman, News 6.
So I find this topic fascinating. As somebody who likes to zoom out a little bit and take a bird's eye view of a story, here's the deal. Florida is growing. More people come here every year.
Gosh.
It's beautiful. It's wonderful. We get that. We have a certain amount of water, and it's lower in some years and higher in other years. So you can either start reusing the water as more people come in, or you keep the other people from coming in
here. You're not going to do that.
Which isn't exactly legal. But that's sort of the route it seems like some people might want to take. Now, there are
some places are doing it already.
Doing this. Tampa's doing it. Not only do they do this, they treat the water, the black water, as you call it. They also have a desalination plant that churns out 25 million gallons of water.
Oh, I lived in Tampa when they opened that thing, and we did. You would not think that desalination plant opening would be a huge deal. Oh my gosh, it was like we had a parade.
So why doesn't everybody do that? I don't understand.
I don't know. I don't think they understand it, and I think when you say we're going to turn your toilet water into tap water. There are more steps in between that. It doesn't go from toilet to tap. There's several steps.
They clean the water.
Of course.
A lot.
Course.
And, everything gets labeled these days. Everything's propaganda.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds disgusting. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it does.
I don't want to lap up my bathtub or my toilet water. You
don't want to drink anyone's bath
terrible.
water.
But the truth of the matter is that water you drank at the gym today was one day peed out by a brontosaurus. That's just, it's water. It has been up in the air. It has been rain. It's been in bodies. It's the same amount of water we had long ago is the same water that we have today.
I can always rely on you to break it down to the grossest level possible. Dinosaur pee.
It's
Got
dinosaur
it.
pee.
Okay.
All
right. I know you say you like to take a bird's eye view of all of our big stories. Coming up after the break, we have a story about an actual bird that's missing, and it shouldn't be missing. It shouldn't even be here. What was it? Where is it? Have you seen it? When we come back.
I am intrigued.
All right, welcome back to News 6 Tonight, everyone. We've been talking about a lot of things today. And the last thing we left on, we were talking about water and how we're running out of it. Mm-hmm. And, there's a great source of water here in Central Florida, the Indian River Lagoon. And we talk about how dirty it is and how it needs to be cleaned up.
Yeah, we've really messed
and how
that up.
we people, how we really need to clean that up. Well, there is a pilot program that's using nanobubbles to kind of get down in there. When I say nano bubbles, they're introducing and talking about how good it's going to be.
Here's a very sharp-dressed man.
For the Indian River Lagoon. But it's trying to restore that waterway quality because we really have used and abused it. So this pilot program will put the nano bubbles in the water. And the nano bubbles are smaller. Nano means very, very tiny.
Thank you. I appreciate
I know,
that.
but some people, how tiny? It's smaller than a grain of rice. That's how tiny it is.
These bubbles are
these bubbles.
small.
And it goes, and they don't come back up to the surface. They stay at the bottom and they kind of clean the water.
So the size means that the bubbles go to the bottom.
Exactly. And it cleans that water and starts to restore it. And we're going to figure out if it's working or not because this pilot program just started a little while ago. Let's take a listen to what they say it will do.
And that size is really important. It's the size that really determines how they act in the water. Meaning that they're too small to rise.
Rice. It's a grain of salt.
Yeah, that's
a
way
grain
smaller.
of salt. That's much smaller. So I misspoke there, but it is tiny, tiny. And whatever we can do because water is a real precious resource here in Florida. And I know we're surrounded by it. You know that saying, water, water everywhere, not a drop to drink. That's what we're going to end up with if we aren't careful and if we don't take care of our precious resources. And the Indian River Lagoon is really a resource we need to protect.
Yeah, we could take it for granted for sure.
Yeah, we sure can.
All right, a story that caught our attention is somebody was looking up in one of their trees locally, and they were like, what is that bright color up there? Let's take a look at what they were seeing.
I wish I had seen this thing.
A toucan.
Those
are not native to Florida.
It's beautiful, though.
I mean, they're gorgeous creatures. They're known for that long bill out there. So a neighbor sent this to us, what is going on? This clearly...
He's looking like he made some bad choices.
I don't know how to get home. My GPS got really screwed up. Here I am in this tree. So the search is on for this toucan on the loose. Viewer sent us this video. It's not far from Universal. And
you called it toucan on the land.
That is what they're mostly found in Central and South America. We sent our community correspondent, Talisa Hampton, out there to try to find this thing.
It's a bright beak, one you don't capture on your phone in a busy subdivision every day.
He's scared of the other birds.
But Eleanor Gonzalez did.
I was at a lost for words. I didn't think I would see a toucan in the wild ever in my life.
Eleanor says while working at Dermy Wax Center in Orlando, she saw the bird in a wooded area in the back. Toucans are native to tropical rainforests in Central and South America. It's unclear where this one came from.
If you do happen to have a toucan, you should probably be keeping it indoors.
Liz Lucasian with Tampa Zoo says toucans can survive mostly on fruit, but also scavenge for smaller prey like lizards or worms.
Especially if one is domesticated. Can it survive in the wild like Central Florida?
It depends on how domesticated It is. Sometimes they'll still have that natural ability to go find their own food.
She says Florida's weather should not be an issue for the species, but advises residents to contact a professional and report the non-native species if they see one flying around. Eleanor says she hasn't seen the toucan again, but hopes it's rescued soon.
All right, so you can see it there, cockatoo. If your cockatoo's on the loose,
I just hope it's okay, though, because you just never know. And I don't want people to get, fancy with trying to capture it. I just want to.
How would you get fancy trying to?
No, creative is
get
the
out
word.
A Rolls Royce.
Get in here. Would you like a ride? I just wanted to get back to its owner because obviously it's someone's pet that got out and someone's missing it. And if they see it on the news like that, and I'm not that I walk around with a net. But I would have done my best to try to get it.
You definitely would not have caught it. When we come back, someone who was speeding away from police with maybe the most ridiculous answer we've heard in years. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everyone. Hopefully you're enjoying the show and this lovely Wednesday evening. We want to leave you tonight with a story that is a head scratcher. It's mind-blowing, actually. There's a guy who's facing a bunch of charges for speeding away from Orange County Sheriff's deputies. And the reason he gave for speeding away from them is quite interesting.
Ridiculous?
Okay, I say interesting, you say ridiculous. So a deputy spotted a car going well over the speed limit. This is on Holden. Do we have the map or anything? So it was Holden and South Texas Avenues. It was around 1:30 yesterday afternoon. So that's Tuesday afternoon. This guy is just out, just rooming around town. A helicopter clocked the car 85 and a 35. That's all right. Deputies followed it until it got to a plaza where they could pull it over, and that was about 4 miles away. He was charged with, he said he was allowed to speed because he was transporting, what, Matt?
Gold.
There's gold in my here car.
I love gold.
Okay, so he was charged with dangerous excessive speeding, fleeing and eluding, driving with a suspended license, cannabis possession, and more. You know what he was not charged with? Possession of gold. Because he didn't have it.
Not a charge. Also, didn't have it. He said, hey, you can't pull me over.
So there's the guy, Hosea Groche.
Yeah, I think that's right.
It's fine.
It doesn't matter.
I mean, it matters some. But those are all the charges he's facing.
It reminds me, I once had a teacher, and I don't know if this is true. He said, if there's a mail truck and an ambulance on a path, and the ambulance has its lights on, which one has to yield? And he told me, the whole class, he said the mail truck gets to pass in case it is taking a letter to the president. Fact check
on your
this.
street.
Use ChatGPT. I think this teacher was probably a giant liar.
I don't think you have to fact check that. Let's just call that right now.
Maybe the mail carrier had some gold.
Is it at 1600 Pennsylvania in DC? Then yes, maybe. That is a crazy story. What kind of teacher was that?
I don't know. A bad one. He probably got fired. I'm going to look this up.
I like how you say he probably got fired.
I probably shouldn't just pull things out on these casts.
Well, it's too late now. You've done it. You'll get to pull some more bad facts out for tomorrow.
You know tomorrow.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. Have a good night. Where do you come up?